Hey there. I have been gone for a long time. I have been very much out of it, mentally exhausted, and come on, you stupid controller. And just, in a massive depression episode for the last however fucking long it has been. So, potentially on the other side of that, but very likely not. But I'm finally feeling up to stream again. Because I haven't really been doing much of anything at all since way back when. I was, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't do much gaming, didn't really pay attention to what I was watching, although I still watch the usual YouTube and doom scroll stuff. Random farm name. Yeah, just not been great being me. I need to not actually think about what I'm trying to input into the things here, or I'm going to immediately fall off trying to talk. That's closest to Gremlin. So yeah, just been kind of doing not much of anything, doing random existing, I think. No, I can't get the parsnips, so better be none. Make sure it's saved, okay. But, yeah, so been barely existing, remembering to eat every once in a while, and inconsistent with that. So, I've managed to get back finally. To run on. Pull in opposite direction. Placement tile. Advanced crafting. Yeah, 3. I'll leave the animals on for now. There we go. I should keep that same. Alright. That should be all of the controls I need to worry about. And option. We should remember, if you've been here ever before, Even when I'm on top of things mentally, I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is even worse than that. So this is just something that will be somewhat minimal mental use as I try and say, well, as I just reiterate over and over again. Yeah, I've just been really out of it, not wanting to do anything and not doing anything. Got real bad on the mental everything for quite a while, but I'm still here, so that's something. Better than it could have been. I don't normally clear this much land on first day. I guess I also on a smaller farm plot than usual. So yeah, I am here. Don't know for how long currently. Hopefully, having stream to focus on will give my brain something to do, although kind of unlikely, because brain doesn't want to do anything at all. It wants to be in power save mode and do as little as possible. I should make sure to plant the parsnips so I still have a decent amount of energy left. Just down here. 3, 4, 5. But while I was in the throes of not being able to do much of anything, I did, for the first time I'm just now realizing that it had been many years, well, not, at least 2 or 3 years since I dove deep into reading manga. Because even though I am still, even though I'm few years out from the maximum, I am at heart still definitely a weeb. So I think I said switch over. I think having that just to take in and be the main focus assisted with everything. Oh, I can make a chest. Nice. I was not paying attention to how much wood I had, so I'm glad I had that. Oh, and kind of orangey, so it's sending out. I was really thinking I'd have more to say, but also my default is definitely not wanting to actually get into or talk about what's going on with myself. So of course, you know, as someone trying to be a streamer, that definitely makes so much sense, you know? But no. It's been real bad this episode. I don't know if you know that was my cursor. I thought that was Marnie's hair sticking out from behind the bush or something right there. Because it rests right there. It does look a little bit like Marnie. Alright. But yeah. And so the worse that the depressive episode is, the more so that my brain wants to just ignore it and keep going and not mention anything about it. Hey, green algae, that's nice. And I don't have any plans at all for what I'm doing on this save, just since I can only stream from PS4. Horseradish, huh. I need something to do while I say 2 words about what the fuck is wrong with me. I also don't expect this save file to be used for much of anything at all. It's probably just going to be me using it for this and then going on and never touching it again. I do still have plans to go back to at least the Perfection Farm, keep decorating it, making it look better than it is, but I am still absolutely dog shit at decorating, so don't expect that to actually look good. Hey, Georgie. Yeah, you will come around to me later. Alright, Alex is in there for now, so I can't do anything to meet him. But yeah, so... Oh, I should have looked for forage on the farm. I went for the forage farm after all. Oh, well, I can do that before it gets too late. What was I gonna continue saying? Oh yeah. I went way off track with tangents, but getting back into reading the manga and everything, it gave storylines and art and other things for my brain to focus on, so that really did help to have various things to focus on. Hey there, get these 3 in a row. So that was helpful for clearing away a little bit of the fog, if not all of it. I don't think I've ever seen Shane this far up. Usually he's back somewhere on the screen here. I'll wait and then introduce. But, yeah, so luckily that was around to drag the brain out of it for a little bit. Okay, gotta wait until Clint's out the door for that. Huh, geode. Yeah, no one's in here. It's very few that ever are. So yeah, depression really fucks you over. Even if you've been putting up with it for a long time, it can still just decide, no, you do not get to do anything remotely human. And you just gotta accept it. Such a fun and entertaining stream, but I was kind of expecting that. Did I already meet Leah? Yes. But I'm gonna try and stream more than, you know, never, and keep to that. I'm also going to, I think, try and stream a little bit earlier, because while it was good for not having a lot of loud noises to interrupt and ensure that it would be a little bit cooler on the hot days, I do think it'll be better for me to stream before it's 9 at night, so I will also attempt with that. Okay, so you can't even enter until Rasmodius sends you the letter. Okay. I thought you could go and introduce yourself to them, but they just wouldn't. That he wouldn't actually have the Junimo potion for you until after then. Okay then. This will be good for checking out the forage on the side of the farm. Anything neat over here? Nope. And I think it's here. Okay, yeah, I knew there was a way to go up from here, from the two areas. Go get Grandpa's note out the way. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I have anything to gather on the farm right now. I do apologize for it being darker right now. Can I change the brightness here? I don't think so. No. So yeah, until I get a glow ring, fortunately it will be rather dark on the night. When is the earliest that you can get the glow ring? Because now you can get it rarely from monster drops. I think you can purchase it from the Adventurers Guild, but that will take money I don't plan on spending. Alright. And nothing else to gather, so just go to sleep, I guess. So yeah. Just hasn't been a fun time for me. And with that, my brain is saying it is time to stop talking about anything concerning myself and just go. Okay, no, living off the land doesn't give any recipes, it's just tips for when you start the farm. Alright. Yeah, the only channels for recipes are the Queen of Sauce on Wednesdays, with reruns on Sundays. Yeah, there's Willie. I need to take watering can. trees. That goes to being level 1, huh? That's the last one I'll get. I will grab the hoe to get that artifact spot. Just some coal. Alright. I think that's enough for clearing the farm. So I'll head on down to Willy. I should put the axe and pickaxe away. I'm gonna clear myself a path first, just in case. Okay, no, this isn't too overgrown. That should ensure I have a clear path to walk for a little bit. And then I'll just clear it back every couple of days. I do wish that there was a just throw everything in the chest button to clear it out when you want to do stuff like go fishing for the entire day or something. But also I could see that being so annoying when you get into the further days of a farm. Damn you, Marnie. Why do you hate being up and running your own store? Not be so unfocused and go get the fishing rod. I should have taken wood for a chest, damn it. Why am I getting so worked about this about shit? It's not like I'm actually going to be spending time on this farm for too long. It's just gonna be one day stream probably. No, I don't have a set schedule for this new session of streaming so far. Sunfish, huh? I am gonna be more or less just kind of going whenever I feel up to doing stream. But I will actually make sure to stream at least like once a week minimum, so that I can build up speaking endurance again, because I am definitely not going to be used to talking like this for a while again. Oh, while I was out of... fuck myself. While I was out of doing pretty much everything, I did manage to keep up with D&D over the winter, as well as just because things got busy. We did move to online sessions over Discord, and so it wasn't as good as in person, but it still went on. And we still did our usual dumb shit. Which, that's what D&D's for. Get together with friends, you do a little bit of storytelling and combat, but it is the majority just y'all bullshitting with each other about whatever random things you're doing in-game. Let's see, I think the last story time I did on TikTok was right after the monastery heist. So that was a long time ago. So we managed to get the orb from the monastery. Then we learned that the location of the next orb would be on this giant fleshy flying citadel that we would have to essentially siege and break into to get the orb. But we managed to coincide it with a attack from the group that is officially known as the, I think, Ancients, but they are colloquially known as the Jesters. Fuck the Jesters. So we took advantage of the commotion during the aerial fight, because again, flying castle of flesh. They had I think it's flesh because there are 3 gods that aren't our previous campaign's characters in the realm that are prominent right now. There's the god of the flesh, the god of the machine, and then the god of the in-between. And so the Flesh Castle is a point for the followers, for some followers of the god of the flesh. And so they were fighting off the Jesters attacking with biomechanical or robot, I can't remember which it was, but essentially mechanical or mechanized dragons, and the followers of the flesh god were using ships made out of flesh. I think I need halibut and anchovy or sardine. Well, they're common right now. I don't need to worry too much about the fish I need for the thingy. Oh fuck, my mouth does not want to work. Fish that I need for the community center. Don't need to worry about that too much right now. Why does it go to the top of the list when I'm trying to go to here? Because when I'm over here I can go down, but then if I go over it'll go back to the list. I can't use the right stick to move the cursor, unlike in the overworld. That's a little annoying. I don't have access to the little rubber ducky. Okay. Oh, that's right. So, Jesters using mechanized dragons, to attack the Flesh Citadel, the cultists using the flesh ships to defend, and then we fight our way through flesh ships, dragons, and exploding mines, because of course fight past all that to make our way into the Flesh Citadel, eventually blow a hole into the side of the wall, and then after that we have the boss fight. It's not just a classic boss fight where you're fighting the boss and nothing else. No, it's an environmental fight where you're fighting against some powerful but not boss tier enemies, and then after that, or while you're doing that rather, you also have to worry about the Flesh Citadel attacking you, because it is, you know, somewhat alive and wanting to protect itself and its minions. And the outside war going on between the cultists and the jesters, which is blowing massive holes into the citadel, causing massive gouts of fire to come pouring in and attack us as we're trying to get to the orb that is powering the citadel. Man, there's nothing on here for this stuff. That's a little disappointing. I was hoping it'd start spawning sooner. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Fighting for our lives against the members of the Flesh Cult and everything else going on. We eventually get to the orb during the fight, snag it, and then we have to start making our escape, because the orb was the main thing powering the citadel, so now it is no longer flying and is crashing into the ground. So that's something that we gotta work out. So all four of us making mad dashes to trying to get out and not, you know, die. I should have brought my hoe with me. We make the mad dash to escape the Flesh Citadel, and luckily we all make it out perfectly fine. Well, a little bit of Eldritch Horror for some of us, so not perfectly fine, but we are unharmed, should say. And so with that, that is the third and final of the orbs that we were searching for, because there's one orb for each of the gods. The first one that we found was for the I think our DM just got forgetful and made it so that the first orb that we found was for the flesh god, because it all the orbs have a radius around them that will sicken or actively hurt and push back any creatures with a biology that doesn't line up to the god's domain. So if a Warforged tried to approach the orb of the flesh god, they would at first get sickened and then hurled away from it violently, as we find out with the very first orb that we came across, which makes me think it was the flesh orb. Then the second orb was the combined orb. I don't know. We got very messy with the story because, again, it is largely just a main idea and then our random bullshit after that. Oh yeah, it needs to be sunny for it to do the community center cutscene. Fuck, I am worse off than I thought. Alright, so we got the final orb that we needed to for the current mission. As we're sailing away and celebrating a little bit, the airship that we're on gives a massive jolt and starts to lose altitude as the hull is ripped wide open by a mechanized black dragon, either adult or ancient, I cannot remember which, but either way, extremely bad news for our level, like, 4 characters. And riding the dragon is Valerie, the orc secretary that was actually a plant for the jesters in a town that we liberated from the corrupt mayor on like session 2 or 3. So we're losing altitude, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. She eventually gets the orb from us, takes off and is like, have fun dying, bitches, and leaves. At that point, there's absolutely nothing we can do to try and get the airship flying again because you see the massive hole in the hull. So we instead try and brace ourselves and just try and minimize damage to ourselves and our equipment and our allies. Eventually, we wake up after all that. Of course, every player character is banged up but alive. And then the DM starts to roll saving throws to see which of the NPCs died in the crash. So he rolls the fighter that is the right... Oh, I should remember to say, when Valerie flew off with the dragon and the orb, she also took off with our Warforged, like, boss slash wrangler of cats, aka the party, known as Mr. Shocks. So he's missing from the very start of the crash. His right hand, the human fighter, lives. His left-hand man, the Leonid gambler slash rogue, does not make it. The humanoid living hive of bees that I don't even know what fucking class she is, but she survives, as well as the bugbear wizard that, alongside the queen of the hive, our barbarian has befriended. Of course, they both make it. And then the NPC sharpshooter going up against my character as sharpshooter. She did not make it. However, my character was able to find her combination double barrel shotgun / sniper rifle, and so I have that much better as a weapon. Very happy about that. Yeah, that's all I should need for this. So I managed to get her gun, and that's good. However, the Yanti, a snake woman, speed shooter, had 4 or 6 guns on a bandolier that she would take one, fire off a shot, switch to another, old school speed shoot style for fantasy setting. She did not, and that was the one that my character was in the middle of a budding romance with. So, of course, my character cannot be happy, of course, and she does not make it. And that is just from straight rolls that the DM did. And then after she does not make it, the, like, barely pubescent kobold orphan that one of our artificers took on as a apprentice / don't get killed and I'll teach you something about mechanics. He is about to be impaled on jagged scrap in the middle of the crash. But then the artificer sacrifices the mechanical giant, because it is fucking tall and would grow taller if it had lived, mechanical velociraptor that had just hatched. So that velociraptor gives its life unrepairable, just to make sure there was still death, to save Wapo the kobold. And then at that point we have 4 or 5 sessions of, okay, we are stuck here, we do not have an airship because, oh hey, that one managed to be completely destroyed because it fell from the height that we were flying at. So unfortunately that cannot be used for anything now. So that is just scrap on the floor. We need to move on and try and get somewhere else to get one. So 4 or 5 sessions of us in a town that is surrounded in a fog, that when you try and leave on foot, on animal, on cart, anything, you go into the fog, and then Lost Woods from Zelda style, you then just come out a different direction going back towards where you came from. So we explore, we save a factory of Modrons that had their AI controller and one of their 4 or 5 leaders go rogue and decide, you know what, we're not gonna do anything to help you guys. We're going to attack you other Modrons and turn this factory into a, for some reason, hellscape factory that is going to make hundreds of mechanical but lifelike looking animals that will make it so that any thing that comes close will be attacked on sight. How much is 45 energy? That is good for this stage. So we helped put down that, thankfully, and in happiness for us having done that, the remaining Modron leaders put the factory into overdrive and start working on a new airship for us, because it was at one point an airship factory before everything went to hell and things went rogue. So then after that, I believe, is when we go to the supposedly haunted hotel slash manor. It was at one point a house that is sorry, my voice is not used to talking this much. It was a old money rich family house at one point that is now under new ownership and is being transformed into a like destination hotel style thing. Keep meaning to hit organize, but just hit add to existing stacks instead. Alright. And I have all the things I need for the Community Center Spring Forge bundle. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we go investigate some rumors about the hotel slash other thing being haunted. Eccentric guy is the one that has started trying to get it remade. It is not going well because he had a bunch of workers, of course, working to dig the place out, to create landing space for some airships. Ooh, Morel, nice. That's what I was after with this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, he has the crew of workers going out doing all their stuff, and then they start to get ghost-like encounters, hauntings, weird stuff going on. They all clear out, or it's like, yeah, no, you're not worth the paycheck. Call us if you ever get this sorted out on your own. So it is just the tycoon guy, because he does have a chain all over the place of successful hotels and other stuff in various cities throughout the entire empire. Just this one is proving to be trouble, so he's there, as well as a single investor who is getting pissy with him because things are not going as planned, and a single butler and maid. The maid, of course, unfortunately encountering 90% of the haunting style stuff going on whenever it happens, that we later learn was honestly just very shit luck on her part. Because, of course, even with an inherently magic land that you're exploring, not everything is just an Ooga Booga ghost that you can exercise and be done with. No, this, we eventually learn, oh hey, 14 level, nice, that there is one more person that no one knows is there. And a gnome, artificer style, that random fiber, artificer style gnome that everyone else thought had cleared out, as she was just a part of the workers, but was more on the mechanical side, keeping things running, inventing some new stuff to keep operations running, that kind of thing. But she eventually learned about a treasure that was supposedly buried somewhere on the grounds, and so she wanted it for herself, of course. And so she started the classic Scooby-Doo style. Okay, well, I know there's treasure. No one else knows that. I gotta scare them all off. So that did start happening after various occurrences that our characters got involved in that definitely did lean to it being actual ghost phenomena, except for the fact that every single part of the house was wired up massively with electrical wires running throughout everything. And we found that out because my character with thermal vision in an implanted eye saw that the walls were warm. I was like, okay, that's interesting, gonna check that out. Okay, if this is some kind of ghost thing, however the hell it is that it is warm, let's just see what happens if I drive a spike into it. And so for like 3 rounds of action, my character is still gripping onto the metal spike that he drove into the wall, while the party is trying to drag him off of it so that I don't hit 0 hit points, and probably continue to then after take more damage and eventually die. But they do get me off, and that was a very funny thing. Ooh, baguette, nice. Or rather just bread. Clint, need to talk to you. So yeah, the beans are eventually spilled after we investigate the collapsed 3rd floor that no one was able to get into. We find the setup where the gnome was watching everything go down and making sure that her operations weren't being found out. Too bad for her. We are very stupid and nosy adventuring types, even though we are currently underemployed from essentially the mob. So really too bad for her. Eventually get everything sorted out, get the location of the treasure out of her, because she knew just enough to be like, okay, so I know it's here, just don't know where here it actually is. It's like the journal area. So we find all that cash, begrudgingly split it with the hotel owner, because we could have taken all however much it was, or we could take a like 75-50ish split of it for ourselves and have him indebted to us for a bit, which gives us free lodging at any of his hotels and absolutely free use, well, I don't remember if it's free or if we have to pay, but use of his underground spy network that he has in most hotel locations. Now that is very useful, as you would think. Well, you know, would be if we made use of the spy network at all. And it's not actually putting us in contact with the spies, it's just giving us the information that they can provide for having, you know, split the money with him. After that, we find... I wish I kept that field snack. Oh well. After that, we then see... We then go to this lone tower in the middle of a clearing that we had seen previously, but we just hadn't gotten around to because we were occupied with previous things. You know, like the factory that was spilling out mechanical animals that would very much try and take out any innocent townspeople that they encountered, and other stuff like that. Oh, and it is just the 4 player characters doing all of this, because all of the other NPCs that didn't die in the crash are just too banged up to be really mobile and helping out with this. And this is also essentially back-to-back escapades in the universe, not really much downtime. So, oh, I need to be up to get access to the left side currently. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so back-to-back we're doing the factory, getting the I was literally just explaining it. What the fuck was it? Getting the oh fuck me. The hotel cleared out. I'm very sorry. I'm talking about this is bringing back the memories, but I'm still deep in the brain fog. Okay, so yeah, did the stuff. So onto the we're thinking Wizard's Tower, and so we go up, various magical stuff, and the entrance and around, and it's like, okay, let's be careful. We figure out the very easy, just to keep riffraff out, puzzle to get the front door open. And there is just this magical field. You can go through it, but it's right in front of the door once that's opened, and so we're just like, huh, who's taking a chance with that? And then myself and the barbarian trip and cause to tumble into the tower, the artificer, the battlesmith, and it's just like, alright, so we don't die if we go in, that's good. So after that, he tumbles in, and then we see what's on the inside is a very beat up but animated on its own bear plush carrying a tray of tea and tea sandwiches, and it's just like, oh fuck, someone got in, run away. And it goes running off to presumably the master. Caroline, I cannot get a fucking meal for you today. So we eventually follow the very beat up bear plush. We eventually learn its name is Threadbare, because it is so beat up and well loved. So we follow it and meet the apparent owner of the tower. A little like 10 to 12-ish year old girl that our 28-year-old male DM has to put on a high-pitched voice for of his own accord. And so, throughout this little encounter, we're just being nice and having fun with the much too young to be on her own owner of the thing. Oh, hello, I mean cheese. Welcome in. I have I've just been talking to myself, recounting D&D stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing on this file, just needed something to have in the background while I talked. Excuse me. Whew. It has been a long time since I've been on stream, so I will... Not will. So I am definitely getting the throat strain. I am a player, but the DM and the entire group is very close friends. So we have the standard, very weird stuff going on at all times. Just recounting sorry, I've had a massive brain fog for the last while. Just recounting some of the D&D stuff I've done since, not last stream, but well before then, just because I had a series of videos on TikTok I was doing, just largely so I could remember better what was going on in D&D for that session. Yeah, always good to take time to make sure you're actually speaking properly, because I am absolutely terrible at trying to get that across. Yeah, just going over the past, like, 6 months D&D, because it has been so long since I did that, I need a refresher. So yeah, we had gone... Sorry, it's been a long time since I streamed, so my throat and voice are really taking a toll, even though I've only been going for about an hour-ish. So... need to take a second. Whew. Okay. Yeah, so just been recounting all the weird random crap that my D&D group's gotten up to. Like, for instance, our airship is torn into by a mechanical dragon and the leader of the enemy cult. We crash land, and one of the first NPCs we encounter is straight up Doc Q from One Piece. Funny enough, you say drink water, and pretty much right before I started that second apologizing circuit, because I do that way too often, I had just taken about 2 or 3 sips. Because while I am entirely shit about taking care of myself, I usually have water on hand. But yeah, because yeah, I have a lot of water on hand, because also while I'm streaming, I have my room door closed, and it gets way too hot in here. Okay, I've already done the circuit of trash. I have almost no plans for this file. I'm just kind of doing it to have background while I talk. Oh yeah. So yeah, we land near a small town, and one of the first NPCs is straight one-to-one from One Piece, Doc Q from Blackbeard's crew, because our DM had been watching One Piece with his girlfriend, who's also a player in our game, and they had just gotten to that part of One Piece for the first time. Okay, I didn't know if that would clear the question mark or not. So, with the two that hadn't seen One Piece being more susceptible to the apples, we just kind of watch quietly as they go on, with one of our party members picking up on, okay, I don't trust the apples this guy's trying to give to us for free, so I'm not going to take any. And then one of the others taking an apple and be like, oh, sure, an apple. You know what? I don't trust this either. I am going to chuck it as far as I can. And it is at that point that the apple explodes. So he was right to not trust. That is... I could definitely see Brock working as either a one-off character, or probably even better as a recurring NPC character in a D&D campaign. Just having him... I could imagine him very easily working as, like, either the being the person running an orphanage just from all the experience of brothers and sisters, or having them Brock be like the, like, not possibly tavern, but just restaurant owner, using all the skills from making food for the siblings. Traveling chef for pet food only. That is great. Oh yeah, he did have all the special recipes for various Pokemon because he was trying to be a breeder. I completely forgot that she had the recipes specifically for the Pokemon, because I remember him being the outright chef for the group and always cooking, because of course the most memorable, well, second most memorable line from the original series in the dub, using a frying pan as a drying pan. Well, does the Goliath eat the dog food because it's Brock? Or does he just think that it is real good food that happens to have a dog on the display of the menu? That's the real question there. Pure spite. The best answer to why you would do something in D&D. Oh, that's a seed right there. Okay. Yeah, so many good things can be purely because you want to spite another player or the DM. And it works out so well most of the time. As long as it's done in good fun and not a part of one of those horror stories you see on online forums about D&D from hell and various, which very fortunately I've been playing with this same group for a long time, and all but two of them, I think, I've known since high school. So we're pretty good about knowing limits with each other just off the bat, which is very good. Did the whole Brock only makes pet food because the ranger kept pushing for Brock to be able to make pet food? So, of course, the logical expansion of that is, well, yeah, he makes pet food, and only pet food. This is not fit for you guys. Stop trying to get food from Brock. Alright. Yeah, should be good for the end of the day. That's not my rock chest. That's my rock chest. Exactly. Oh, you want something that you would want to eat? Too bad. He'll feed your wolf companion and the barbarian, but that is all. And he doesn't even want to make food for the barbarian. The barbarian just eats what he puts in next to the wolf companion. Oh, good. Alright, so we can finally get level 1 farming. Nice. Fiber, wood, I think that's all. I get the recipe when I go to sleep. Okay, never mind. I was thinking I could make the scarecrow already, but unfortunately not. Joja. Right. I feel like I was... No, I don't think I was in the middle of saying anything before I distracted myself with random stuff. That is a first for me. I am very often saying something and then I will just randomly lose train of thought, work on something else, and try and regain it afterwards. And it does not work out for me ever. Well, I guess occasionally it will work out for me, but most of the time it doesn't. So, for the D&D campaign I'm in right now is actually a second campaign after our first one of from level 1 to 20 across about 2.5, 3-ish years has ended, which that campaign was largely the module of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage with some homebrew stuck onto the front and end. And so that homebrew was largely, okay, so this prince has been exiled from the 9 hells and he is trying to create hell on the mortal planes. So of course we had to stop that. Yeah, that was, so far that's been my only 1 to 20 campaign, and the DM for this one, who was the same DM, is not wanting to recreate that because and everything I did was with full cooperation from him and acknowledgement beforehand. But I did some real bad shit because I was a 3 levels of warlock, 17 levels of sorcerer. And that campaign had a lot of homebrew where it was just, hey, can we do this? Sure, why not? And that came back to bite the DM in the ass so many times. I will say, even though I was primed to have the coffee lock experience, I kept it under control and didn't do any of that infinite spell slots until we had already reached level 20 and were going to fight the war against the Demon Prince, because at that point it was really just too easy to do the infinite, because we had gotten a cauldron that every single day at dawn would fill up and have about like 5 or 6 uses of a liquid that would just return any spell slot singular that you were missing at the time you drank it. So I just farmed that while we were prepping before the war, as well as doing regular coffee lock stuff. So I had like 500 5th level spells to cast, and like 200 or 300 9th level spells I could cast without having to take any rest. And I really could have made it a lot worse because before we got to that highest level stuff, doing the whole coffee lock thing, using Xanathar rules, if you didn't take a long rest every so often, you could be forced to make a Constitution saving throw or get a level of exhaustion, of course. But before that, our group likes to do this thing called Potion Roulette. Sometimes you'll be out adventuring in a dungeon, sometimes you'll come across an NPC, and there will be exactly enough potions plus one unlabeled for the party to consume. This is some very fun gambling of some good effects, some bad effects, some permanent, some temporary. But they're always fun because you don't know what you're getting into. One of these, on the higher level, made my character immune to exhaustion levels. So, at that point, as long as we had healing, we could have my character just never take a long rest and keep stacking up spell slots every single time we're not actively adventuring in the session. I chose to not do that to keep things a little bit more fun and interesting, but it did allow me to then just pass the Greater Restoration Diamond Dust to the Cleric / Paladin of the group to have for resurrection spells and various stuff. So it was just annoyance upon annoyance. Yeah, I do not recommend any DM being so lenient with a Swarlock unless you know the player and it will just be like, no, I trust you can use this power responsibly. And I mean, it was incredibly responsible of me to have those spell slots because I just used it to essentially annihilate large amounts of the demon, undead, and other things army that the prince had to protect the city he had taken over. Then we made our way to the boss, and I was hit with a banishment spell, essentially, that took me out for the maximum possible number of rounds, because he did roll to try and make it a little bit more fair rather than just for this amount of time you're not there. So I had all those spell slots, pretty much every spell from level 1 to 9 that could be known by any class because of other various bullshit that the DM gave to me. And I was brought back the round after we finished the boss fight, because there were 4 player characters, all at level 20, and then each of those had a sidekick character who was essentially a character of the same archetype, but because of the sidekick class system, it was essentially just like 4 or 5 levels less powerful, even at max. And then I had a simulacrum of my character that was true polymorphed permanently into an ancient dragon. So my character wasn't there, but I still had plenty of stuff to do in the final fight, so I'm not too upset about that. But it was perfectly aligned that the boss went down to a paladin's smite right before my character got reintroduced to the fight. And that is really just poetic to the random shit that we did in that campaign. So then those characters, because we did have further aspirations of doing more homebrew stuff before the end of that campaign, like before the fight at the end. But we just kind of got too trapped in the mega dungeon of 23 levels that we had to go down to get more powerful for the fight. So then after that, our characters took over we bought a castle and large plots of land surrounding it during the campaign. We retired there, started up a small town, that then grew into a large city, that then grew into a massive continent spanning empire, and then our characters all ascended to godhood. So we had fun with that. And now this... I really got off track there. This second campaign that you're wondering about is the follow-up to that first campaign 5,000 years in the future, so much more like technologically advanced, and magic is less powerful because, well, for the longest time the empire that the player characters set up was heavily magic based, and so they just put so much strain on the weave that eventually something snapped. And so now magic is much rarer. Most magical items above a certain power level need these crystals that are just filled with latent power of magical variety, are required to have things actually function, including airships, some types of external power armor, and just various things like that. And so, and spells, for the most part, are just kind of limited to being level 5 and below at max. There are some supposedly rare out there ways of learning more powerful magic, but the DM just kind of got annoyed with, okay, so this is the encounter, here's 2 spells, and now we're done with the encounter. What you got next from the previous campaign? And most of the time that wasn't even my character's fault. He had 2 paladins with a couple offensive or healing spells, and then not much else to do other than smite. So my character was a good boy for the most part, and was just like, okay, let's have a little bit more of an interaction with this fight, and it's already over. Okay, never mind. let's just pretend that wasn't happening, I guess. So yeah, much more mechanically advanced and a little less magical. So now we're going around. At the start, brought together as we were all either employed by, on a contract basis, or indebted to a mob / gang that had need of us for various things, or for various reasons, but the main one was to bring us all together to get some magical orbs that all had connections to these 3 gods that aren't connected to our player characters, but are just kind of in the area. Well, that's good. I have a lot of random stuff to talk about D&D. Fortunately, I do think I will need to rest my voice somewhat soon, because it has been like 6 months since I've streamed last, and I've already been going for about an hour and a half or so. Oh, dang, time has flown. But I will be actually coming back and not just getting depressed and doing nothing for months at a time. So I will be here to stream again. Oh, hey, Gabby, welcome in. Yeah, I missed you two and missed streaming. I've been out of it for too long. I got hit with a very, very bad depressive episode for just the longest time there, and I did almost nothing. I noticed that I hadn't been getting brain work. I noticed I haven't been getting the live notifications for you. I thought you had just been on vacation or I'd been missing them. Why? I hope that your reason for not having been streaming is not as bad as mine. Because, yeah, I know people do, but I hope less have to go through with mental like mine. Yeah. Well, I do hope you've at least had not as severe depressive time as I have. Because I don't want to, well, other than my brain always wanting to not get into anything about myself, but got real bad on the depressive side for a bit there. But I'm still here, so things are on the up. Yeah. I think I said before, but so far no diagnosis, so I'm just freeballing, trying to deal with everything. I think I need to open a window real quick just because I have my door closed, but even though it's only spring, it is way too hot already. Oh, I will mute for a second. Alright, that's already so much better. Hopefully the road won't be too loud since it's a little bit later today. But yeah, so I'm assuming what I got is high functioning, just based off of what I have currently going on. But you'll never know for a long time. Oh! I forgot that Twitch had changed stuff around. And so now... Huh. Thanks for the subscription, Gabby. Yeah, that's the first time I'm able to say that. Hell yeah. And then after that I look down, even all these months later, Stream Elements is still going on about the Minecraft seed. I should remember to take that off at some point. I need to water still. That's why I went to this chest. Yeah. Here I was thinking I was still, what, a month of trying to get 3+ viewers concurrent to unlock subbing. But hey, that is very nice at the very nice surprise that I had entirely forgotten about them redoing that system. Hell yeah. It does make sense. First one is Gabby. Yeah. Honestly, a lot of the time I forget about Prime Sub. Oh, 1 second. Okay, just had a cat tossed into my room, which means that her brother is being allowed to roam the downstairs a little bit more freely. I appreciate that my Go Live notification was able to reach at least one person. Yeah, I've been mindlessly on YouTube and TikTok a lot, and I think I've had just my go-to comfort stream on a background thing that I can bring up whenever they're live. But other than that, I've not been on Twitch much either. Now, to be fair, I didn't really spend much time surfing the live channels to begin with. But it did take a little bit of a nosedive when I wasn't streaming as well. Yeah. Honestly, if I didn't see a couple of clips of theirs years ago when they were going by a different stream name and streaming on YouTube, I honestly wouldn't have a comfort streamer currently either. Because there we go, I can talk to Willie. As much as I should probably just be interacting more with streaming in general, I very much do not. Yeah, I really need to be keeping up with stuff, although with my current, let's call it restrictions, not a huge amount of use trying to keep track of the hot new game or the new streaming meta, because even after this 6 months, or however long, it just feels like 6 months, I am still only on PS4, stream only. Yeah, well, until you do find Comfort Streamer, always happy to have you here when I go live. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, side effect of just having absolutely terrible sleep for the past, like, month or two. It's just, yeah, I've been yawning a lot. Yeah, I'm a comfy streamer, but you might always find someone that resonates more. speaking of, if you want to give a shot to my comfort streamer, I think I even have them. Yeah, I think I even have them on my this channel's not live. Go check out this person thing. A streamer here on Twitch called Matara Khan. I found them way back in like 2020 or so, when they were streaming on YouTube under a different name. They're a VTuber. They used to be under a corporation called Niji Sanji. Absolutely terrible company, and I'm glad they managed to get out, even though at the time had no idea if they were ever coming back or if they under same name, different name, anything. So after they got out of that terrible company, they came back as Matara Khan, and they were with some other friends of theirs that are also VTubers with a different company that, to say it nicely, should not be doing any work with anyone ever. You can find more stuff about the company called V Shoujo. I'll go ahead and put the name in chat just if you want to take a look, but it is just not good company. For two things that they are most known about after the dissolution of the company, it took about a year of withholding payment from all of their streamers, as well as about $500,000 that of money intended for charity that the CEO was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was charity. We have spent that." Or it has gone missing. I don't know. Something. And so, despite all that going on, it's just very good that all of those streamers have managed to get out from underneath that second company. Now, the first company she was with is still around, but especially on the English-speaking side, they are much less popular because, well, we know what they're all about now. A couple of breaths. Yeah, just remembering about when all of the drama with Shoujo and all that was fresh. Getting a little bit heated, but now that company is no longer, and all of the talents are retaining their old IP and doing much better now. So yeah, Matara Khan, I'll also put her name in chat. You'll know you found the channel when you see a giant pink cockroach. Oh, hey, that was everyone. Nice. Yeah, she live streams here on Twitch. At one point, she was dual streaming on YouTube, so that was another thing, but I think she had issues with that and stopped. But definitely look out for the brain connects to mouth. You can also check out her YouTube channel because, unlike me, she, you know, is capable of being a functioning streamer. And so there's a VOD channel, edited videos, all kinds of great stuff, so you can get a feel for what she does. and it is a goal of hers and reality that she doesn't too much hop on the brand new hottest game must stream just because it is the new hot thing, and caters to a less teenage audience, which is her goal, to have more of a actual functional adult audience, which definitely has been able to, which is good. And so most of the time, very calm streams, very nice. Do watch out for any time she gets a sponsorship for a horror game, because that's about the only time she can be coerced into playing a horror game. The loudest screams I have ever heard, and every single one of them is real, is not her playing up for the camera. So just be careful about anything horror related with her. Yeah, I'm good with horror. I do just find it a little bit... I don't really know how to phrase this. Jump scares, oh, they will get me every time, unless they are very much leading it with some poor and obvious lead up to the jump scare. Those will get me every time. But it's very hard for a horror atmosphere to get to me. So I usually don't do too much with horror, either movies or games. Horror movies, I do absolutely love nice campy horror movies though, like the Evil Dead series with Bruce Campbell in them. I love that type of thing, where it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's just having fun with whatever it's doing. Even if the person making the film at the time was trying to take it a little too seriously. Trying to remember what I was... I think I've just lost too many trains of thought over time, and so a bit like when you don't clear out the trash bin of your computer, I'm just stalling. Alright. Have a nice sleep, Gabby. Did I just say Gabby? Gabby. Honestly don't know which one I said, but have a nice sleep. It was great seeing you again, and I don't know when I'll stream again, but I will stream at least once a week. And hopefully I can see one of your streams soon. Oh yeah, I always appreciate the support, Gabby. Don't know how much longer I will be going. I was originally going to end around 8:30. That's about nearly an hour past, but it is still fun. And I do need to actually have dinner soon, so don't know about... Oh, that is so far out of my price range. I was excited about a quality sprinkler. Yeah, for however long I do keep streaming, hope you enjoy a little bit of sleep with me in the background. Yeah, I do need to eat, I just don't know what. Oh no, wait, yeah, I know what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna be making some ramen. So yeah. In fact, I'll probably end this day and then go down and do that just because I'm pretty sure I only had breakfast around 1:30ish, and that was all that I've eaten today, so I probably should do that soon. Yeah, so it is nice to get back to this, because even though my voice has not come back to in any way being able to stream for a long time, it is kinda similar to when I thing down there. Similar to getting back into reading manga when I was doing absolutely nothing. It is forcing my brain to focus on just a couple things and to have to work through what it's doing instead of just going for whatever at the entire time. I need to remember to also breathe and not just keep talking. There's allowed to be silence on this stream. Okay. Yeah. Is George? Okay, no. Oh, it's Sunday. George is in the little altar area in Pierre's. How? I suppose I am on the forage farm, but still, how am I at level 3 already? I don't know too much of what I should do on this farm because I don't really have a plan for this farm, or even if I'm going to come back to this farm. I suppose I should just chop down some more trees, because that'll at least get me to the other side of the beach. Seaweed. I think I have one of those. Or do I have algae? Yeah, I have algae, not seaweed. Oh, hello there. What was I talking about before I was saying hi to Gabby? Oh. That's what I was telling you about my D&D campaign, Cheese. Sorry, after talking with Gabby, I just had no idea of what I was doing before that. Hope you have a good sleep. Yeah, I don't have a set schedule for stream currently, but I will be probably on my TikTok. You can find a link to on my profile. I think I have that set up on this, but same name as here. I will probably be making a little visual of just like, okay, I'm going to try and stream these days, and now that you're followed, you should get the go live notification as well. Hell yeah. 3:15, that's about the time my body will let me go to sleep too. So I hope you have a good sleep and whatever you have planned for tomorrow. Or rather, same day. Although, as we all know, it's not actually tomorrow until you wake up. Yeah, it was nice having you pop in for a little bit, and I look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, energy drinks always taste good, but there's always a bill to pay with, oh, I had this way too late in the day. Well, oh well. Yeah, always too good, and then you pay for it after. So I do hope you can have a decent and restless. My mind was going to non-restful, but no, hope it is a restful sleep, and you don't be like me and have to lay there with the brain firing 900 miles an hour for the entire night. Hell yeah. Have a good sleep. I'll see you next stream, cheese. Although I probably won't go for too much longer because I need to eat and rest my voice. Oh, my little cat that got tossed in here while I'm streaming is just curled up and having a nice little nap too. Gremlin is such a cute little cat. Actual trees, because they give the most wood. So yeah, to any unlucky sucker on the VOD channel that is watching this, only gonna probably go to the end of today and end after I sleep for the last week, but I think I managed to somewhat have a beneficial first stream back. Well, no matter what, definitely profitable first stream back with my first sub ever. So get that. Don't think I'll be doing too much. Oh, I should go to the mine to at least get the sword. I apologize. Oh, thank God. This is so much faster, and it is silent. I saw that there was a update on the PS4 version, and I'm assuming all versions of Stardew Valley somewhat recently. And before this update that I put through right before stream, holding the the move one option on a stack of items, it would just be a constant case of that, but over and over again, always interrupting itself. That sounded terrible. So I'm very happy that is now a thing of the past. Yeah, it's fun work on the farm. Penny, why are you apologizing? I'm not Pam. You do not need to be instantly on the defensive. Anyway. Yeah, so that's a nice little update to just quality of life, not having that constantly going to my ears. I do wish that they had and I'm saying this knowing full well, they might have changed it with that update I put through, or finalized, downloaded. God, my brain fog is terrible. That update that I downloaded right before stream might have made it, but I really wish that there was a buy 25 or whatever quantity button on consoles, because you can, I think, shift click with computer to be able to buy a large quantity all at once from a shop, but with console it is only buying one at a time over and over. Penny's not there. I think she would be here then, because I think she doesn't go to the saloon because of issues. Fuck my life. Okay, well, Penny, you're probably not gonna get the seaweed because I'm gonna forget it after I end stream today. That's right, the mountain to get into the cave to get the sword. Because, yeah, even though it's not there, I did get the mail from Joja about them clearing the landslide. So get that. I think I might be coming back to this farm after all, because I'm just kind of excited about new stuff, or having stuff to do on a farm again, because I have, from the previous streams, I have 2 farms going currently. I have my perfection farm, which I managed to get perfection on within, I think, 4 years is when I managed to get it just before the 4th year. Might have been just before yeah, might have just been before the end of 3rd year going into the 4th. That seems likely. So I definitely think that was it. And so now I just go back there on stream very rarely when I want to try and make it look better and more end-game farm, because I am absolutely terrible about having any decoration or fashion sense. You go in the fish chest, because you're C. I'm going to leave it on here just so I can talk without either actually going to the next day or forgetting what I'm talking about. So, the second farm was a Joja run that I then expanded into a full Joja, as much as I can be, as much as I can give a damn, at least, full Joja perfection, which is doing as little towards progressing perfection and just buying Joja waivers, but I just kind of lost traction with that. That or Red Dead Redemption 2 might have been the last stream I did. I really should just check on my VOD channel because I uploaded them there, but I'm not doing that right now. I need to end stream and go eat. But those are my 2 farms, a perfection run, no Joja stuff that I now just kinda make look pretty and try building up towards more end game, and the Joja as much as I can give a fuck perfection. So I might have this, even though 1.7 hasn't come out yet, just to have something for when I have something I want to talk about. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. So, with that being said, I have this, of course, Twitch channel, although anyone hearing this is probably on the YouTube channel for my VODs. So I do have a Twitch where I do live stream. You can come check it out. I also have a TikTok. It is a somewhat mix of stream TikTok and personal TikTok. It's mainly go live posts for stream because I am too fucking lazy and not into it to actually edit streams down to either long form videos or short form anythings to be able to have more than just simple things from stream on TikTok. So it's mainly a personal thing about this is my cat. Fuck, everything is going wrong. But I might actually be posting more there. Or that is also somewhat my archive of shinies that I've been getting. Because one of my hobbies is shiny hunting Pokemon. I do have a couple hundred for a shiny living form dex, which is a living dex, which is all Pokemon, not just Charmander, not just Charizard, but Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, like that, but also with regional and gender and any other form differences. So, like Pikachu, I have a Pikachu male, and then I have a Pikachu female as well, because it has the heart on the end of its tail. And I'm doing that for both regular and shiny. As you can tell, I do not have a life. So anyway, yeah, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I have links on profiles for anything on all those. And hopefully I can see you on the next stream. So I will see you then, I hope. But goodbye for now. Goodbye.